The sun hovered lazily above the city skyline as 16-year-old Ayana strolled into the upscale department store in downtown Atlanta. Her backpack slung over one shoulder and her sneakers slightly scuffed, she looked like any other teenager enjoying a Saturday. She was on a mission, to pick up a birthday gift for her best friend. What she didn't know was that her afternoon would unravel into a storm of accusation, humiliation, and, ultimately, revelation. Before we continue, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification bell to get notified for more, share to friends. Where are you watching from? Please tell us in the comments. We love seeing how far our story goes. Ayana browsed through the jewelry section, admiring a silver necklace with a simple heart pendant. She smiled and checked the price tag, mentally calculating how much of her allowance it would take. Just as she reached into her bag to grab her wallet, a voice snapped sharply behind her. "Young lady, stop right there." Ayana turned slowly to face a tall, stiff woman with a tight bun and piercing eyes. Her name tag read, Janet, floor manager. Ayana blinked, confused. "Yes. I saw you slip something into your bag," Janet accused, arms folded with authority. "No, ma'am. I didn't take anything," Ayana replied calmly, showing her open palms. Janet narrowed her eyes. "Empty your bag." "No." A small crowd began to form, drawn by the raised voice. Ayana hesitated, heart pounding. "Can we go somewhere private?" Janet's voice rose. "If you didn't steal anything, you shouldn't be afraid. Or are you hiding something?" Tears welled up in Ayana's eyes, but she stood her ground. "I didn't steal anything. I just came to buy a gift." Janet whipped out her phone and, with dramatic flair, dialed the police. "Yes, I have a shoplifter here. A young black girl, mid-teens, refusing to cooperate. Please come quickly." Gasps rippled through the store. A few people pulled out their phones. Ayana stood frozen, humiliation crashing over her like waves. The sirens arrived minutes later. 2 officers entered, hands on their belts. "What seems to be the issue?" "This one," Janet barked, pointing. "She's been lurking. I'm sure she tried to steal jewelry." The officers turned to Ayana, who was visibly shaken. "Ma'am, please empty your bag." Before Ayana could respond, the doors flew open again. A powerful figure in a tailored navy suit and heels strode in like a wave cutting through chaos. She looked straight at Ayana, her daughter, and then at the officers. "Is there a problem here?" she asked, voice calm but cold as ice. Janet stepped forward. "Yes, this girl was caught." "That girl is my daughter," the woman interrupted. Gasps echoed again, this time louder. One officer's eyes widened. "Mrs. Sinclair?" "Yes," said Ava Sinclair, CEO of the very corporation that owned the store chain. "Would someone like to explain why my daughter is being treated like a criminal for browsing your merchandise?" Janet blinked, stammering. I didn't know." "No, you didn't care to know," Ava snapped. "You saw a young black girl and assumed the worst. You humiliated her in front of everyone. You called the police instead of asking a question. Do you treat all customers like this, or just the ones who look like her?" Silence gripped the store. One of the officers stepped back, suddenly very interested in the floor tiles. Ava turned to her daughter. "Are you okay?" Ayana nodded silently, too stunned to speak. Ava pulled her close and turned back to Janet. "You're relieved of your duties. Effective immediately." Janet's jaw dropped. "Wait, you're firing me?" "Right now." Ava didn't flinch. "Right now. I don't need people like you representing my brand. Security will escort you out." As Janet was led away, still in shock, the store returned to a whisper. The officers offered a quick apology and exited. Customers resumed shopping, glancing now and then at Ayana and her mother. Ava gently guided her daughter to a private office upstairs. "Sweetheart, I'm so sorry you went through that. No one should ever make you feel less than you are." Ayana finally let the tears fall. "I didn't do anything wrong." "I know," Ava said, embracing her. "And you held your head high. That's what matters." Later that evening, Ava released a statement. "We will not tolerate racial profiling or unjust treatment in any of our stores. Every customer deserves respect and dignity, regardless of appearance. This incident is a painful reminder of the work still ahead. The story made headlines, not because a CEO fired someone, but because a mother stood up for her daughter. Because someone powerful refused to be silent. A week later, Ava launched an internal anti-bias training initiative across all store branches. She invited civil rights speakers, psychologists, and even young customers to speak. And Ayanna. She spoke at the launch event. She looked out over the crowd, executives, employees, community members, and said, "Don't judge people by how they look. You might be wrong. And that mistake could cost you more than your job, it could cost you your humanity." Moral lesson. This story reminds us that prejudice wears a quiet face until it's exposed in public. Snap judgments based on race or age reflect more about the one making them than the one receiving them. Injustice, no matter how subtle, is still injustice. And sometimes, the most powerful responses aren't loud, they're measured, just, and unforgettable. If this touched you, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more true stories like this, and share with your friends. Where are you watching from? Drop your city in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going.